Hi guys, Stu here with a new video, and this video is the patch notes for today or tomorrow depending on your region. And there are a few changes. I think most noticeably Frost Decay, DH, all of these. I'm going to talk about it right now. I'm going to gloss over it, but I'm going to talk specifically what it does mean for PvP. But if you're looking for PvE, those are also the patch notes. But I think I believe you already saw them. But if you didn't, at least you learned something on this video. But I'm going to give you my opinion and my prediction for the coming weeks with these changes. Although they did say that they are going to make additional changes on the 5th, so it's next week. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do. So Frost Decay, they got a few nerfs on the 2 set for Aberrus, which is the Season 2 set. We're not going to use that in PvP. I think PvE, we're not going to use, if I don't PvE, but you'll tell me if you're using the 2 set from previous year. And 4 set got a buff on the additional bounces, but also the proc chance. So I guess it's fine, although in PvP, I don't know how much it will impact. Chill streak damage increased by 10%. I think it's quite good to increase chill streak damage, although I think Frost Decay has other problems. Obliterate will do more damage. Enduring chill chance to bounce increased to 25%, but mostly people do take for piercing chill, which is the increased damage on your chill streak every time it will bounce. That got a little buff as well. Overall, my thoughts about Frost Decay is it is a cheesy spec that works mostly because of lobbies where they don't know how Frost Decay operates. It's really always going to be the same, and a healer that doesn't know what's going to happen, of course he's going to get dropped and often go only 3 wins out of 3 because the Frost Decay will win all the games if both healers don't know what is happening. But pretty much what they do is like double grip, even triple grip if they have a bomb limp. Or they just go on the melee, they grip the the healer and the ranged, or like the melee and the healer, for example. You have a triple blinding sleet, then he pops his AoE ability, Remorseless Winter, to stun you. After not, you do play with Frostwyrm's Fury, which is going to stun directly. Is a safer option, but if they don't, it will stun after the blinding sleet. People panic, then they trinket that, which is often resulting into a full strangulate. You're going to get strangulated, or another stun from the Remorseless Winter, or a asphyxiate, and often or not, if the healer doesn't pop a CD, he is dead. That is pretty much how it goes with Pillar of Frost, by the way. But often not if you're playing versus a melee, or if you're playing versus like a melee with a disarm, or if you're playing with intelligent healers that know what's going to happen. Often not, this is not going to do anything. It just needs one good defensive and one good peel up ability to peel off the Frost Decay. The other day I played Enhancement Shaman. I did a great lobby, to be honest. And what did I do? I played with Unleash Shield, because I wanted to actually push the Frost Decay away from his build-up. And then I played with Thunderstorm, of course. So I pushed him, and then I re-pushed him to a point where every single go he had, I was negating it. And of course, the first thing that's going to happen in the first seconds is you have to pop something, and you have to pop something that is going to peel away the Frost Decay. So overall, it is cheesy versus the right people, but if the people knows what's going to happen, you can defend versus that. Of course, in trees it's different because you have the Devastation Evoker, for example. It's a whole other beast, but in Social Fall, they do their go by their own, so they are easily stopped. In trees it's different. Again, you have the Devastation Evoker also to worry about, but in Social Fall, again, the Frost Decay is going to do all of it by themselves. So if you can actually stop them and push them away, they get frustrated. But anyways, they need a rework. They need to make it more impactful outside of their CDs. Literally, I would say even take the CDs out and put the power back into the kit. Make Obliterate hit for something outside of Pillar of Frost. Make Frost Strike be something also a bit more, I don't know, man. I know a lot of people ask for a MS effect. I myself, I'm not a fan of giving everyone an MS effect, but it could give something else to Frost Decay. For example, the necrotic wounds from unholy decays is actually a great way to add something with the gameplay of a Frost Decay without literally copy pasting the things that already have exist in other specs or classes. You don't want to unify every single class, you want to make them special, and by making them special is by giving something extra. I don't know, they could do a Frost Fever debuff where a certain amount of heal is actually transformed into shields for Frost Decay. That could be something, for example, instead of like healing with necrotic wounds from unholy decay, it could turn into a shield, like a frost shield kind of thing. I don't know, man, they could be very, very creative. Now, the problem is, I think in PvE it does well, and again, I think in PvE the gameplay is more about the breath or obliteration, but they seem to be more okay because it's a low CD. So in PvE, low CDs are actually very cool. In PvP, playing around only a CD to do something as a plate spec is actually just not that fun. But anyways, that's my take about Frost Decay. Again, I'm a huge fan of Frost Decay. I'm like desolated about this iteration of Frost Decay. I wish we could go back to Mist of Pandaria or even Walls of Draenor, where it actually was a bit more fun, in my opinion. Even Wrath, to be honest, but that's another topic. Resto Druid got a buff on healing, but not on PvP, so luckily, because they are overperforming in PvP. Shadow Priest got a buff in PvE, not in PvP, which is kind of worrying, but we'll see next week if they're going to get a buff or not. Maybe they wait for the 4-stat, that could be also happening, but we'll have to see. Affliction Warlock and Destruction Warlock got a buff in PvE. I think they don't need a damage buff in PvP. If anything, Affliction Warlock needs something else than damage, and Destruction Warlock, I think they are fine currently in their own state. They could rework a few things, but it's not like power-wise, it's purely about like build-wise and build diversity, I would say. Now the interesting things. Demon Hunter in PvP. This talent has been undervalued by a lot of streamers, a lot of YouTubers that don't play DH. And trust me, you just need to read the tooltip to understand that it is the base of any problem for Havocs currently. If you're getting hit 400k on Elysian Decree, 300k on The Hunt, even sometimes 350k on a Death Stance or whatever it's called, Death Sweep, excuse me, it's all because of this talent. It has a chance of 7.77% to increase 17% of your damage that you're going to produce, chaos damage, I think, in PvP combat, and it could do times 7. So every time you're rolling the dice, it does 7.77%. It will give you 17% increased damage on your ability, and you do that times 7. That will give you the amount of damage you will get on a very, very lucky roll. And you can be very lucky, but you could also be somewhat okay-ish and get like 3 rolls of it. It still is going to augment you 50% of your damage on The Hunt, on Elysian Decree, on whatever you're going to press, because everything is chaos for you. It's going to be making your damage obnoxious. I already said that was the main problem for the DHs. The other nerfs were like something that they did, like for example in League of Legends, where you introduce a item, that item is busted, you nerf the specs, the champions, and then you nerf the item. The champions are now left over with a bad kit which has a lot less power because of that item. That's the same. DH has a kit. Again, I'm not defending DHs because I'm not playing DHs. I don't like to play against DHs. I think it's a bit dumb that everything is AoE, but that is what it is. But all the things that they nerfed previously were not the issue. The issue was chaotic disposition, and now it is nerfed. Now we will have to see if it's going to impact a lot or if it's not going to impact a lot the Havoc Demon Hunter's damage. I think it will impact grossly, because what are the main reasons why DHs are killing people in PvP? Because of those gross amount of damage they can produce in such a small amount of time, and sometimes it is not predictable. And that is the unpredictable aspect that they actually had, and which now is more of an average with less variance, which less damage on the top high end of the spectrum. Now you have, of course, more chances to have a bit of an increase. Again, 33% chance to get a 4% increase, and it will also be times 7 if I'm not mistaken. So it will be around 30% max, 28, but I think it will be more. I think it will be rounded up. It will be 30% increased damage on your ability if you are very lucky. By very lucky, I mean 7 times those 33%. That is going to be much more acceptable than more than 100% increased damage on a very lucky roll. And it does happen a lot and often because every single thing you're going to do is chaos damage. So even 7.77% feels high for the amount of things that you have as a DH. So this is going to fix a lot of those problems. I think I'm not sure if it's going to drop into the tier list in another category. I will have to see with my own eyes. Personally, I think that was the main problem. I feel like the nerfs that they had previous week is now a bit dumb, if you're asking me, because this was the main issue, and now you are actually nerfed it double. And you're going to say, but Togre, you're crazy. S tier Havoc Demon Hunter. Why don't they nerf? Why don't they nerf more Demon Hunters? Like I said, the main problem was chaotic disposition. I already said that multiple times. People were laughing at my face. This was the problem. And if you actually read tooltips and you actually looked a bit outside of your own spec and class, you would notice that some things are more busted than others, and those other things that get nerfed are not the issue and will continue being an issue because of that one talent. Now it's going to be fixed. Hopefully it is enough. And hopefully we don't need more nerfs to Havoc Demon Hunter, because we don't want to have a S tier go to C tier. We want to have a S tier go to A tier, maximum B tier, because those are the sweet spots. Any spec should be around A or B tier. Now in PvP metas, you cannot have everyone at A tier, because it is, at the end of the day, a meta where if your spec is strong and I am strong versus your spec and I am the more popular one, of course you're going to drop into the tier because you're going to face me more often than not. But that's a meta. I can explain it on another video, but it's going to happen anyways. I think Havoc Demon Hunter with this nerf is going to be more controllable, I think, in my eyes. Feral Druid got a unnerf about regrowth healing. Now it's going to be only reduced by 20% in PvP combat instead of 43%. And I want to say, why is it still reduced by 20%? Just remove the whole thing. It just heals for too little. People have over 1 million health. What is a 50k healing going to do? Even it's a free proc, it is not even worth the GCD. That's how terrible it is. It is better to spam roots and to avoid damage than to actually have a regrowth, which is the amount of healing that you actually get for 0.1 second of playtime in arenas. Again, I am not a Feral Druid main. I am an observing one though. I see them heal nothing. So now buff that healing. Same for Retribution Paladin, by the way. Same for any hybrid. They need healing or they need something else. Get rid of the healing, put something else, or buff the healing and keep it how it is, because right now you're just middle of the road, and being middle of the road just takes you to nowhere, and that at the end of the day is just, I think, the most true thing I already said in the video. Evoker, Azure Strike, damage increased by 40%. I think that's quite nice for preservation, for augmentation and devastation. Although it's, again, it's an instant damage that is not going to do a lot of damage, but at least you can spam it for a bit and maybe have some EBs, and I guess it's fine. I think it's alright. I think it's a filler, so you can buff it even by 80%. I don't think it will be busted. Time stop, PvP talent got reduced by 45 seconds, and chrono loop as well, PvP talent reduced by 45 seconds. I think the main issue for devastation, if I'm not mistaken, is that you have a lot of great PvP talents, but only 3 spots, and the same for augmentation and the same for preservation. So I don't know if they're going to still play with time stop or with chrono loop, but at least that will make them a bit more of a choice. Those abilities are very strong, by the way. It just is, you don't have a lot of spots in your PvP talents. If you had like 4 or 5 spots, you could easily take them, but Right now you only have 3 spots of PvP talents that you can take, so you have to make choices, and sometimes those choices are a bit tougher to make. I wish I had those choices on my Frost DK, or on my Unholy DK, or on my Warlock, or on my Mage, or actually on any spec I'm playing currently, except Arms. I think Arms is fantastic for that, but that's also another subject for another day. Augmentation Evoker got a nerf on their burst damage, which is upheaval, but they buffed the consistent damage. The issue of augmentation is they're like a support spec, and if their supporting is not worth anymore, then it's not taken, unfortunately, because it just is how they designed. It's either busted or it's going to be unusable. So they need to do something or rework something to make them more appealing. Preservation got Dreamflight healing increased by 100%. That's going to be interesting because it's going to heal way more and maybe be worth the button press or the talent to take. Interesting though, interesting. Mana regen got reduced by 5% instead of 10%, so they will do a bit better, at least with mana. That will not change their playstyle, I think, but I think it becomes something that they can actually build upon and maybe make them better right now in Soul Shuffle and 3s, also in 2s. And then also a buff to Holy Priest, 6%. I think that's not enough because of the current landscape and the current kits of other specs. I think Priest has to have gross throughput to make it work. And if it's not gross, and if it's not easy to do, then it's just not good. I think we are in a state where Holy Priest kind of needs a rework. I know. I tell so many specs needs a rework. Enhancement Shaman, Frost Decay, Holy Priest, Shadow Priest again, because I think it doesn't work right now. But I think they need to do something about their kit. I know that the kit could be interesting, but I think in current landscape, at least in PvP, it is just not working. So it might be that they need a PvP talent maybe or something, but they need something else. Again, Holy Priest being super meta is not fun for a lot of people because it just is not really fun to play against. But right now it is grossly underpowered, so they need to do something, and I think it is also meta-wise that it is not really interesting to do and to play a Holy Priest, but hopefully we do see something about it. Overall, the big winners are no one. Pretty much. I don't think there are any winners in this patch note. Even Frost Decay, I think those buffs are pretty much placebo right now. What is 2% going to do? What is going to be 5% going to do for Enduring Chill? That's going to do anything, like nothing for PvP. Chill Streak being 10% increased, that's interesting, but again, it's like either as a Frost Decay, you're overkilling your enemies because of your go, or you are doing nothing. So there is no in between. There is no added damage needed to your burst, because Chill Streak is actually used while you're doing your burst. You're not going to do it out of a blue, a Chill Streak out of nothing without any setup. That's not going to work. So they're buffing their burst, which was fine. That's not the issue. The issue is how everything is revolved around that and how it's stoppable and everything in between. So this is just a placebo. You're going to play it, you're going to feel like it's doing more damage, but you already did overkill damage. The issue is not the overkill. The issue is how you set up, how it works, and how it plays. It plays like a sub-rogue while it is a Frost Decay. It should not be like that. It should be playing more like an Arms Warrior, in my opinion. It should be playing like a juggernaut, like a slow, methodical, big swings, big... You know what I mean. Anyways, and obliterate 8%, that's nice, I guess, but it's not going to do anything towards your consistent damage. You're not going to smack someone with obliterate without Pillar of Frost and say, oh my god, I'm doing damage. That's not going to happen. You don't even press obliterate whenever you are like not in Pillar of Frost. If you don't have a killing machine, you don't proc, you don't actually hit with obliterate. You put your frost fevers on, you try to slow everyone, you try to survive with death strikes. You're not really pressing obliterate outside of your CDs, so You're sometimes doing it because you're overcapped on runes. You don't want to do that as well, but you're not doing it for purely your damage. You're doing it for rune generation. But runic power regeneration, excuse me. And so that's not really a big winner for me. It's like neutral. Demon Hunter has been a loser on this, but I think it's like a normal nerf that should always have been the first one they nerfed, but then they nerfed something which was irrelevant and didn't do anything to the power of a havoc. But this is a good nerf, by the way. Feral Druid is a winner, but again, 50k, it's going to do 60k healing now. On a regrowth. On a 1 million HP pool player with dampening, by the way. Dampening is going to hit you like a truck, and that doesn't matter how less or how more healing you're going to do outside of dampening. So this needs to be 0%. This should be gone, reduced, no more. It should even be buffed, but that's my opinion again. Evoker, I think it's a winner if you're taking those talents. I doubt you're going to take those talents. So overall, no winners. I think the winner are the people that don't like to play it versus a Havoc Demon Hunter. I think those are the winners. Nothing on this patch note will actually change the tier list in my opinion. But again, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I know I'm not really nice. I don't want to sugarcoat FrostDK. Again, I want them to just rework it. I don't care how they rework it. It cannot be worse than what we have right now. And I know Shadow Priests are going to tell me, "Oh my God, whoa, it can be worse. Did you see me? Did you see my spec? They got destroyed. My spec is not instant anymore." Yeah, I guess. But I mean, FrostDK is right now not fun to play. Not fun to play against. Nothing is fun about FrostDK. So just do something about it. Again, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Be sure to stay safe. We will catch each other probably very soon in a tomorrow's video. I don't know what I'm going to make. Might be something that you would like to see. So be sure to subscribe, and we will catch each other probably very soon in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.